Okay, rule number one, we only work with independent agents. So if you're one of these large national brokers, unfortunately, you can't submit new clients to our captives. Now, if you are an independent agent and you sell your agency to a firm that's not independent, totally fine. We're going to allow them to service the account because what we want to do is help you maximize and retain as much agency value as possible. Rule number two, no BORs. Obviously, there's some exceptions. You can't lose your license. You can't be accused of fraud or embezzlement or misrepresentation. Essentially, you can't do the things that would get you in trouble with a traditional insurance carrier anyway. Rule number three, we are not going to let a business owner come into the captive unrepresented by an independent agent. Meaning, if your client called me directly and wanted to join our captive and I had no idea who you were, we wouldn't let them in anyway. So if they're not represented by an independent agent, I'm going to introduce them to somebody in the community, somebody, in our network, somebody who can perform. Rule number four, we are not here to compete with you. So if a business comes to us and they don't have an independent agent, I'm going to introduce them to somebody, but that somebody is not going to be me. Meaning, there are other managers that allow owners to join, and I've recently heard, an owner is allowed to stay in a captive without an agent. We're just not going to do that. We believe independent agents are pivotal to the success of the captive. And to that end, Captive Coalition, we're not owned by an organization that's going to compete with you directly either. Okay, rule number five. And I believe this is the most important rule. It's always your client. It's your relationship, not mine. I'm not here to be a wedge or interfere into that relationship at all. In fact, I'm encouraging that relationship with training and support for you, the independent agent. Captive Coalition is your gateway to captive insurance, but ultimately the client is always yours.